Hello and welcome back to Wonderland. Today we are back in London and we're going to have afternoon tea at the Mandeville Hotel in their restaurant called the Reform Social and Grill right behind me. So come along with me down the rabbit hole and we'll experience it together. Well, hello, we made it back down the rabbit hole for another afternoon tea. So today we are at the Reform Social and Grill restaurant right here in the Marylebone area. And I'm here all by myself. I mean, I love that, you know that, but there's a bit of music right above me. I hope I can use this as my background music today because it is just so nice. It's very atmospheric, you know, very easygoing and just lovely. I hope you can hear it because I love it myself. For this afternoon tea, there's different price points and there's different menus. So you have a little bit of a choice when you come here to dine. So afternoon tea, there's two different kinds. There is the traditional afternoon tea as well as the gentleman's afternoon tea. And if you've been watching me for quite some time, you know I'm going for the gentleman's afternoon tea. Anytime that I have something a little bit different, that's what I'm going to be doing. So what I will make sure to do is take a picture of both different menus and put them in my community tab so you'll be able to see the difference between both of them. Afternoon tea prices start at £32 a person, and if you would like a glass of sparkling rabbit juice, that's going to go up to $43.50 a person. But if you want unlimited sparkling rabbit juice for an hour and a half, that's $53.50. So I think that's pretty darn good. And look, I even have a little raspberry. It's already starting off to be a very nice experience. Just looking over the gentleman's afternoon tea, it looks like there's going to be 5 different savories and 4 different sweet treats, as well as my scones and clotted cream and strawberry jam. So this one's a little different. I do get a bit of sweets. So for all of you guys that are sweet lovers, you will see me eat some sweets. I just received my tea tower and it looks wonderful. You know how you can just tell when you see the food if it's going to be a good afternoon tea, where it looks like the establishment is really trying hard and not just a wham bam, thank you ma'am, thanks for coming in and get out. Sometimes I feel that way, unfortunately. But what I see in front of me is a lovely 3-tiered tea tray, and there is on top my lovely sweet treats, and then down in the middle I see some beautiful scones looking at me with clotted cream and jam, and then down below is a full plate of lovely savories, and it looks like they are really going to cater to a gentleman audience. That's the word, even though I'm a lady. I tell you, it looks grand, and I see a proper fish finger in there and a half a bagel and cream cheese. I love gentlemen's afternoon teas, I tell you. They're really amazing. So while I did ask for my hot tea to arrive when I started on my sweets, I did receive it early, and I ordered something called the Red Velvet. It's a caffeine-free tea. It smells beautiful. It's supposed to taste of ripe red berry fruits. So let's try. And it definitely does. It's a lovely pink color. It matches this room so well, all the pinks and reds. But yeah, it's a nice, hot, lovely tea, perfect for a January afternoon. I guess there is nothing more for me to do other than to dig into this beautiful platter of food. So up first, I definitely think it's going to be the fish finger. I mean, how could I not go for something that smells as good as this does? A crispy haddock finger with tartar sauce. And like I just said, it smells divine. Oh yeah, that's good. It is just lovely, mild white haddock pieces, lovely big flakes. Unfortunately, the fish finger, the coating itself isn't crispy, but that's okay. I will overlook it. It's hot and lovely, and the tartar sauce just has that little bit of zing. It's perfect. I will definitely be finishing off this fish finger. I was also told by my waiter if I wanted to change things around a little bit, if I wasn't happy with one of the delights that's in front of me, that they'd be happy to change them. So if you have picky eaters or you're picky, you know, they'll probably work with you here. Something very nice and very comforting. They brought me a glass of water without asking me if I'd like water, which usually means places are going to charge you for water. This is just probably a lovely glass of tap water with some lemon, but you know what? It's very well welcomed, I tell you. Up next is another little English nibble. It's roast beef in a Yorkshire pudding. Oh yeah, that was quite a winner. Little Yorkshire pudding is lovely and spongy and just how a Yorkshire pudding should be. Ooh, it's the perfect vessel for meat and lots of gravy. So it was roast beef, but it was more pieces of roasted chunks of beef, which is much better than that thin sliced stuff. So yeah, it was delightful. The beef itself was super, super soft and very succulent, and that gravy was incredibly savory. Oh. If not a bit salty, but you know what? I do like a bit of salt. But yeah, right on for number 2. I am thrilled to bits, definitely. This is something unique. The next item is guacamole on toast. And as I turned it over, it kind of looked like an Italian kind of toast, maybe like a focaccia or something. But yeah, guacamole at an afternoon tea here in London. The world is getting small. Well, that was a little better than I thought it was going to be. Coming from California, I'm used to making my own guacamole and the whole bit. But it wasn't bad for a London guacamole. It wasn't the full-fledged explosion of guacamole that you're used to, but it is January. We're looking at majorly imported avocados. So there was bits of tomatoes in this, and it was not completely pureed, which is always a pleasant surprise, especially here. But yeah, a little bit of texture, and definitely the toast was toasty. So there was a bit of crunch. It was nice. I was not disappointed. I kind of had an idea of what it would probably be like, and it was exactly what I thought it would be. We must be in Wanderland because on the menu it says a mini smoked salmon bagel, but I don't think they had any mini bagels back there in the kitchen. So they gave me a half of bagel. Look at that, it's huge, huge. Lots of cream cheese going on. A proper half a bagel, so I guess somebody has lunch back there for the rest of the afternoon. I am not complaining, I am definitely here for it. That was a delightful, delightful smoked salmon cream cheese on a lovely, chewy, perfect bagel. I mean, I'm not a bagel connoisseur, but I know what I like, and I like that very much. It was exactly the profile that I'm used to, kind of like crunchy on the outside, very soft and chewy on the inside. Lots of salmon, beautiful smoked salmon, and plenty of cream cheese. It's exactly what you'd imagine it to be, but a whole bunch. I mean, you've seen like last week's afternoon tea and the one slice of cream or one slice of salmon. There's certainly not one slice of salmon here. There's several layers. It's like, why are some places so wonderfully generous and other places are not? And it's usually the more expensive afternoon teas where they're not generous. It's It's just not right, is it? It's not. So they're doing a great job here. I am a very naughty rabbit. I just poached all of this beautiful smoked salmon out of that bagel so I don't fill up. Because this is the good part. You don't want the filler, do you? You want the good stuff. Oh no, we're down to our last bit of savory, and it's going to be a coronation chicken sandwich. And look at how lovely that looks. Oh yeah, and it seems to be on a seeded brown bread, and it smells delightful. Let's give it a try. So not one of my favorite coronation chicken sandwiches. It's funny, it made it a little dry, that bread, I think. The bread was very, there's a lot of bread to it. But the filling was very generous. And what was unique about this filling is that there was red bell pepper. It was lovely. The chicken inside of it was cut really nicely. There was plenty of texture, which I like. I just think if the bread was different, it would taste a lot different. Yeah, it's not a bad sandwich at all. It's just not one of my favorites. I will definitely tell you that everything has been such a delight at the Reform Social and Grill. It is just such a nice, relaxing atmosphere. It really is. The music, like I mentioned before, is so soothing and beautiful. The customer service here has been fabulous. They check on me to make sure that I have everything I need, and extra plates, extra anything. They're here for me to make sure that I'm happy. So if you're here in the Marylebone area, you might want to come here. I mean, seriously, if you're just out for the day, definitely a lovely place to be. I loved all of the savories. I think they were very, very, very delicious. It was really nice to have something different from your typical cucumber sandwiches, egg mayonnaise and such. Something a little different. I don't think anybody would be adverse to it. I think if you've got a larger eater in your party, or some gentlemen even, they would not be adverse to this. Looking at the menu for the regular afternoon tea, it is just the top 5 afternoon tea sandwiches available. So, you can have different menus in your party, which is great. And maybe even mix and match to make you all happy. So, something like that is always delightful. But yeah, everything was wonderful. And they were very, very generous with everything that I had with the savory course. So now it's time to do our scones with our clotted cream and strawberry jam. Can't speak, I tell you. I get this unlimited rabbit juice and it just goes straight to my head. You know what? I think it's this raspberry. I'm going to blame it on the raspberry today. Here's my little raisin scone. And I always enjoy it when I have a little bit of powdered sugar on top. It just makes it a little bit nicer. And my scones are relatively warm considering I tried all of my savories first. So let's give this a try. My scone broke apart really well, so I'm just getting my bite ready for it. A nice lashing of clotted cream and a bit of strawberry jam. And let's see how this is. I liked it. Hey, Mikey, she liked it. If you know, you know. But yeah, scone was fine, just fine. It was crunchy on the outside, a little softer on the inside. Yeah, it was just fine. But I tell you, it's always the case, really, it's always the case. The clotted cream and the jam are the stars of everything. I mean, the scone is pretty much the vessel to put it into my mouth. Unless I just take a knife and go for the clotted cream by itself. That would not be very nice. No. But beyond that, yeah, a lovely scone course. I think you'd be happy. Definitely. I think you'd be happy. Definitely for me, my favorite of the sweets was the lemon meringue pie with that powdered sugar on top and those sweet strawberries and that beautiful lemon curd in there. Yeah, it knocked it out of the park. It was absolutely delightful. Strawberry macaroon. It's nice and crunchy on the outside, nice and how a macaroon is on the inside, you know, kind of soft on the inside. A little taste of almond, but a lot of strawberry in it. Yeah, a lovely, lovely little macaroon. Yeah, no fault there at all. And you know what? I think I need a nice sip of tea. Ah, now that makes it all much better. Our next to last dessert is a passion fruit cheesecake. And as you can see, it has a lovely ripe little blueberry on top. So let's try it out and let's see how lovely it's going to be. It wasn't bad. So the cheesecake itself was more like what you'd find in a buffet, you know, has the gelatin in it where it's more spongy rather than dense. The graham cracker crumble underneath was beautiful and buttery, delicious. But where you had the passion fruit was on top of the gelée area. Very delicious, lovely passion fruit. Do you like passion fruit? I learned to enjoy passion fruit on a flight when I used to be a flight attendant going down to Australia. I said, what is that? And I was given some of that passion fruit and oh, I've been a fan ever since. So yeah, it's still a lovely dessert. I mean, they took some time to do it. It's much better than a little loaf cake with some frosting, which I've seen before on this journey. All right, our last sweet treat is a coffee opera cake. It looks delightful. There are several layers, and I look forward to trying it. That was delicious. It was a way to finish this off. Coffee flavoring, almost tasted like a tiramisu, of course, but several layers. I believe there's 8 layers in this little dessert. And even there was a chocolate covered coffee bean on top. I'm gonna be up all night, I tell you, because I ate it up. But yeah, it was beautiful. Cream, cake, coffee, cream, opera cake. Exactly what you think it's gonna be. And that's what it was, just chocolate and coffee and cream. And it was perfect. So, good job. This has been a lovely afternoon tea. We're at the end of it all. What did I think of the Reform Social and Grill? I loved it. I loved it. I think the price was perfect at £32 a person, which is definitely one of the lower end prices. Yeah, it's been great. The surroundings are beautiful. The food is delicious. The wait staff has been fantastic. And yeah, and you can get free flowing rabbit juice for a very decent price. I think it was like £20 more or something. But yeah, and this naughty raspberry in there, which is making me silly today. But beyond that, would I come back? Yeah, I definitely would come back. And I would suggest that you come here if you're out shopping, perhaps on Bond Street or in the Marylebone area. Yeah, drop in here. But you know, I still would do a nice little, you know, I would do a little reservation, and you can do one on afternoontea.co.uk, I believe, or straight with the restaurant. I'll leave links down below for both. But until then, I will say I will see you next Friday, if not sooner. I hope there's lots of afternoon teas to discover all of those different adventures down the rabbit hole with me. And please like and subscribe, because you know what? I want you to know when a new adventure is happening. So until then, I will see you again soon. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye.